All right, let's see if it sends it now.
You may not find us on your TV.
Okay, except there's double audio now.
We're being brought to you by OTR. Brought to you by 27.085 megahertz. Brought to you by RADI. The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hello, test. Well, I can't hear myself on the 11. I heard a static thing.
Okay, that's good. Now the crossband guys, I'll check them out as well. Let me get to the control room, so at least I can get myself on. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing into the dark. They were saying on the two-way they weren't hearing the audio coming through. There's about 3 or 4 different streams coming and going that have to go out to the stream and to the radio and then incoming from that. So looks like we had the wires crossed, but I think it is working now. Over.
It is working.
As they say, it is working. Okay, well, let's see. We've got that is up. I see Tony's on Echo Link. I believe they are still over. Let me do a quick jaunt over at Old Radio Night. There's the audio. Yeah, they're listening in the audio from Old Radio Night, so we are good to go. Thanks for the update. Let me put the microphone back where it should go. And I will ask, there has been a couple of early check-ins over on the YouTube stream and over at oldtuberadio.net, which is a good way to watch and check in. You can actually stay there on that page and watch the link, the video link, or just the audio link if you're driving along or something like that, or if you just happen to have a radio. Tune us in at 27085. That's channel 11. We will be, speaking of radios, we will be talking, I hope, with some Old Tube radios tonight after the roll call. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers for the Old Tube Radio Network, where our purpose is to promote the use and distribute information about Old Tube CB radios whenever we can, and other things as well that we've been doing for the past 40 years, even though it's often hard to get it right when you do more than just the radio. Any stations over the air that would like to check in early? Over.
Yeah, 53 checking in.
53 sounding good. Heard you guys talking to the skip stations out there, so good deal, and we've got you checked in.
10-4, yeah, I got the weakest station of the nation there, Dennis. Hey, take care, good night.
56.
Yeah, that's what I say. The weak station of the nation. Let's see, in the mobile, running barefoot, all that good stuff. So we've got 53. I'll put the X in the square there, and just down the street and around the corner, SWL 56. Hello, Phil. We got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Also, SWL 61 checked in before the net. SWL 69. Kenny was on the YouTube side, as was SWL 64. Anybody else for an early check-in?
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
Not an early check-in, but I will be mentioning Cliff's radios that are for sale, so if some of you are interested, stick around.
All right, we will get to that, I guess, when the tube radios do their thing. Thank you, Harvey. Speaking of check-ins, let's go to the top of the page for SWL 00, also known as SWL 15. I don't know if the sun is even up yet
early check-in.
from Copenhagen. And there he is. Alias 00 is right there, checking in, standing by, and listening in. Let me put the official 00 up on the screen here. I thought it was there, but it should come in. Things are a little bit slow, and we'll go also get an early check-in here on the crossband. Hello, radio.
Hello, radio. SWL 135 for checking in early.
Sounding good on the early check-in. We will get you with the X in the square, and then I believe Harvey said he will have some information forthcoming when we start checking in the tube radios. Thanks.
Roger, Roger. K86QLG clear.
KB6GFD. The band is quiet. We had a whole bunch of skipland, and then as usual it dies out in about 5 minutes, and there is nothing. So I will adjust the squelch and the RF gains and whatever I need to do here coming up. Make sure that is going to be working okay. SWL number 1 gets the cosmic check-in for Dr. J. Number 2, OBP, who's 9.5 pounds, good modulation. He must have worked on his antenna to get that extra couple of S units in there. He's in the house. Thank you, Kevin. I'll have to get a video link up for you somehow. I have to get you checking in, put you back in the net control. Kevin, OBP, one of the very first net controllers, who was sitting in front of the very radio that would give just about anybody checking in a S9, no matter where they might be. Got a check-in for SWL number 3, a proxy check-in for Rob, also one of the net controllers. Now, I don't know if he is back from his adventures over at Old Radio Night, and we will be checking in with JT and the gang shortly, but that would be SWL 5, otherwise known as the Rainmaker. Also jumping in, where is your secret location? It scrolled off my screen. 007, Extreme CB. Do we have the props? They're pointing to say, yeah, you have some props on your desk. Let me see if I can find them. Yes, indeed. Right over there. Let's put it over my face. Yeah. 007, extremecb.com. You're home from the Jersey Shore, getting ready to head south in the RV. I don't know if he has, like, the RV dolled up with extremecb.com. So if you see it going down the interstate, you can honk and wave and all that stuff. But where are you going? You're going to head south for the Orlando Hamfest. Very good. All right. Well, let us know. Check in from Orlando. The weather is good. Good Orlando. They're in the probably mid 70s, 80s. I know a lot of people are getting snow. So Orlando is the place to go. We will look for you from the Orlando mode. Thanks for jumping in. Let's go to SWL 7. I got a note to Proxy N7 if he doesn't jump in on the big screen here. Then we head out to, the frequency, the channel is so quiet. I don't even know if I'm transmitting tonight, but we will see. SWL 9, otherwise known as 982 Dirt Dog.
How about it? This is Dirt Dog 982 checking in.
Dirt Dog 982, sounding big, sounding loud, and an X in the square here at OTR Net Control. Thanks for joining us tonight on the big glow-in-the-dark radio. Over.
All right, thanks, Dennis.
And thank you, sir, for jumping into the air chair tonight and saying hello radio to the Old Tube Radio Network and all across the world at oldtuberadio.net. Speaking about across the world, our worldwide station jumping in right now. Speaking of air chairs, probably listening in. They've got the Browning fired up. They got the Robin fired up. SWL 10, the Jumping Dolphins. I count at least 10. Maybe there's 30. That would be for 10 and 30. Dwayne and Chrissy, see you guys. The band is not too great. I will listen in, as will you, for possible live over-the-air check-ins at some point, I hope. But you're X'd in the square, as they say. Let's go over to 11 and 12. They were in early tonight, I think, taking advantage of all the goodies, and there were many. We'll find out from Gary what's going on in the green room in just a bit. But 11 and 12, of course, that is Dan, and then Dapper Dan, who needed an early check-in because he was the party animal tonight at the big pizza party dinner. So if you're there, you're checked in. If you're not, you're still checked in. 11 and 12. Speaking of pizza, Frank D1 from Yellow Springs, Ohio, enjoying pizza night. Is that what it is? Is it official pizza night? There was no At least where I was, there's no pizza. I'll have to find out. Maybe we've got pizza in the green room, and nobody told me. SWL 13. I do believe I heard 13 on the crossband. KB6GFD. He's waiting for the delay, and we'll probably be checking in. So let's put the X in there now. Heading back out to Sangertown. SWL 14, over.
Hey, good evening, Dennis, and all the other SWLs out there. 14 checking in.
Sounding good. I've got the attenuator on and the preamp's not in, and you're still putting in a great signal. So if you are around the air chair when we glow in the dark, we'll continue this conversation.
Yeah, roger that. We'll catch you later.
It's 2-for-1 coupon days, but only if you have the right coupon, and this station does. SWL 15. From way over across the other side of the earth, kind of, where it is tomorrow, or it's actually today, I think, but tomorrow for some people. Anyway, we have you checked in there, Hans. I wanted to look at our other board here. See who's in. Fresno, Lake Elsinore, up in the front, up in the big seats tonight. Hello to Tracy. Phoenix, Arizona. Who's in Phoenix?
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Is that Radio Randy?
KB6GFD, KJ6EQB.
We've got Edmonton, Alberta. We've also got a crossband. We've got 47 on the two-way Hello Radio, KB6GFD. See what he's got. Denver, Colorado. That could be Rob.
Unbelievably good to be out on the radio patio, actually next to the swimming pool. What SWL are we on right now?
Let's see. We're doing some generic stuff, but we're coming up to the 20s.
Hey, I'm going to go get 11 double A's and stick them in the...
Did you say me?
And see how good your antenna is.
All right. Well, we'll see. I know you put in a decent signal when you're out on Christmas Tree Lane. We'll see how it works from the pool. You know what the mini grass guys do? They drive their rigs right up to the ocean and, pull the back tires in there. So you might have to do that. You might have to stick a little ground rod into the pool and see what happens. All right. We'll look for you in moments. KB6GFD. All right. Going to have a mobile check-in from the swimming pool. And Hans said the sun is not up and it's cold. I bet it's cold over there in Oscar Zulu One Land. Hopefully it hasn't frozen. It hasn't frozen the FT8, so it's still working. Direct and net roll calls where we are at. I think that's where we're at. I'm going to look around here. And they said, yeah, okay. It says follow the cue cards. SWL 16. Hello to Charlie, who got everything in order. I don't know what happened at the beginning. Everything was good. It was something I did earlier. We were doing a production. That's what it was. Doing a production for the radio station. And when we do that, we have to turn off certain channels. It didn't get turned back on, but I believe everything is up and running, so good deal there. SWL 17. SWL 18. It was good. It is good to see Mikey, Mr. KDA, up and running on the live stream. So yeah, Bozo Control's been checking it. Actually, this is how he checks you in. He brings the mud duck and honks it a couple times, and I know for sure that's a check-in for 18. Also a check-in for 13, as you just heard on the crossband for Mr. Cobra. Thank you, Charlie. 17, 18. SWL 19 with the cue cards tonight. I see that Santa left you some new markers in your Christmas stocking. Everything looks good. I can read it from way over here. So thanks, Chet, for checking it from way out there. I don't know how he does it from Belfast, Maine, Derby, New York. He is everywhere. Is that omnipotent, ubiquitous? Something, one of those words. Let's go to the west side for SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Check in myself, 29 and 54. And I will have a list of Cliff's radios. About half the list will have prices, and the other half I'll mention the radios, but we haven't got prices for them yet because it's taking some time here. Okay, turn it back to you, Dennis.
All right, back to me in the studio. All right, thanks, Harvey. We will get to that in just a little bit. There's some other check-ins I will get. First, what I want to do, because he's queuing up. He's ready to go. He's got the Galaxy, spinning wheel, all sorts of stuff. He was breaking the skip zone. He was talking skip when we weren't having anything on the West Coast, so I don't know how he does it. Let me fire up the video over at Old Radio Night, bring up the audio. I see myself on the big screen. Let me see if I can bring the audio up. And when you hear us, JT, go ahead and fire up the audio. I'm gonna put your shot of the control room up here with the Galaxy. And I even see me on channel. You're on channel 10. We're on channel 11. That's kind of creepy. That's kind of scary. This coast-to-coast rebound thing. We might go into a big loop. All right, I'm listening. Listening for 21 to check in. Here we go.
SWL 21, South Carolina, we checking in.
21, 183. Well, we got a big group tonight.
I hope we got in there.
Yeah, I think you've got more check-ins from Kakalaki, from the Wasama Swamps, than we do here on the West Coast. So we'll see what happens. The Galaxy is looking good. I love the coiled cord. You polished the cord on the Turner just for that shot. It looks good. The Old Radio Night looking good on the East Coast. Old Radio Night back to the Old Tube Radio Network. Thank you, JT, and all the stations out there are over.
Yeah.
All right, we made our waiting for their link to catch up. We made our coast to coast. I don't know if anybody else is doing that on CB. 2 live channels. I suppose you could be somewhere in the middle of skip zone. You could be listening to channel 10 where he's checking in, listening to channel 11 where we're checking in. You get over the air. Then you could have Old Radio Night in one ear, the Old Tube Radio Network in the other ear, and you'd have 4 sources all going on at the same time, but basically doing the same thing. Ain't technology great? And to think it all started with a 100 milliwatt walkie-talkie 50 years ago. Thanks, everybody. We will have some radios glowing in the dark shortly, so don't go away. Also wanted to say hello to those joining us up on YouTube. Of course, no stranger to YouTube himself, Foxman362. Check out the various videos of worldwide radio doing what worldwide radio does. Thank you, Foxman, for jumping in. Justin needs to get the big tower that 21 Scott had at his house, put up his antenna. Talk to the stars, or maybe us over here. We're not stars, but you could talk to us. Out in Freeland, Ham Radio Elmer, Whiskey Echo Romeo. We'll look for you. I can probably hear Freeland. I was on 15 meters today, kind of scoping out to see if I could hear Texas, and got a Parks on the Air station and some other things, so might be able to pick you guys up in that area. Out in Foreland, Hotel Tango Uniform. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Daniel C, Blood Nose, Wagon 390 Wagon Master is in. Thanks for joining us. And Mark, Hotel Tango Uniform. Talked to Mark a couple of days ago.
Be careful what you say, Jed. He's still playing it.
Oh yeah, it's still there. All right, let me douse the audio from Old Radio Night. You know, I had you guys up and running before we actually signed on. If somebody came over, they could hear the net going on, sort of a simulcast. All right, good night out there in the Wasama Swamps. We got you. Seeing who else is joining us tonight. Bill 2179, hello to you. There's a couple of stations also checking in early, which we will get or did get. Private Thor. Man, the BC SDRs are still just rocking in most of the day and evening, depending on what frequency I'm at. I just wish they would put that Squamish Kiwi back up. I don't know who had that, but I wish they would put it back in line. Okay, let me continue with some roll call, or we will never get to the radios. SWL 22. Somebody said to get Tyler checked in. I was listening. I did not hear any Alaskan stations, and he's in Anchorage, I believe. I was checking the temperatures in Anchorage at minus 20. I was hoping he'd be in, but maybe he's just frozen. Maybe he's frozen out and can't get the radio fire up. 23 Skidoo, SWL 23. Let me get up to my main page here and see what's going on. There, 428. Hey, Peter, see you guys in there. Catalyst UDX 122. SWL 24. Is Joseph in? He should be around. He usually gets an early check-in. Glen Allen, Virginia, with the General MC5 and the Q-Bird, just waiting for a General MC5 to check in. Wayne, I hope we get some General radio telephones tonight. They were manufactured about 200 miles south of here, believe it or not. Let's go out to Madera Heights for SWL 25.
Good evening, Dennis. 25 checking in.
All right, you thought I would never get there. You are sounding good, and I'm surprised you can hear me, but there you go.
No, I can hear you just fine. Anyway, if you don't mind, check in 74-2, and we'll be listening.
Sounding good. 74's got the check-in. Stay warm out there. Stand under the big red heat lamp, and we'll catch you next time.
Oh, yeah, we got one burner Mr. Heater going.
Yeah, good deal. Have to come by and visit the radio room sometime. 73. All right, hey, Captain Robert, looking good. Get the early check-in. I know you got to get things going over there, so if you have to check out early, no problem, and good to hear about April. That is the way it goes. It's sort of like the people on the moon, one small step for man, one giant leap, same thing. One small step for April, one giant leap for recovery. So on her way. Sounds like a good deal. Thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 26, shortwave listener 27. I was looking over to the crossband. I thought maybe we would hear Studio G tonight. Mr. Nobody waving, and yeah, no conditions, but we can always hope that things will change. I'll have to check the DX map, see what's up. Let's head up the road where there's still no conditions to see what's going on with SWL 28 tonight in Gary. I don't know. When the fare is good over in the green room, he may not even show up. He may not make it to the microphone. Okay, they're talking to Carolinas. I know that. JT was our Skip had long gone here on the West Coast, and JT is still talking Skip. It's something about that area. You know, you're in the center of the U.S. You've got left, right, north, and south. I think it does better for calling up the stations. SWL 29, we've got a proxy check-in for 29. SWL 30 sitting by the radios waiting for some skip conditions. SWL 31. Got to update my list here. Of course, that is Robert and Teresa out there in Hendersonville. Don't think I saw them early. We will get a proxy check-in. But I bet they will be there. SWL 32, and I'm reading the notes on the cue cards. Saw the post. I didn't have a chance to respond yet, but sounds as though the FT Ocho is working pretty good. I don't remember what frequencies you were using for that. I specifically went to 15, 12, and 10 today to listen for any 5 calls, and 10 was weak. 12 was strong, but there wasn't anybody on. There's that group at 24,970 that does the propagation. And then there was quite a few stations on 15, and I was hearing some Texas stations, but it's, as usual, they're way up and they're way down. But I think 15 is going to be the place to be for a contact. So hopefully the FT8, on 40 and 15. I don't have anything. This other radio would be good for FT. I'll have to do that. I have to get something set up for FT8, and then I'll come by and say, oh, look who was here when I wasn't. All right, well, good deal. We'll talk more, but it sounds like it's working well, and if the 15-meter antenna is working on the digital, it should work for the voice. And then I'm getting instructions. Okay, I want you to see this. Hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry, I'm stealing the cue cards. I'll give it back. I'm stealing the cue cards from Chet. See, he takes care of me. Look what it says. Here's the deal. And then there's Rob. And then it says straight and tie, adjust pocket protector, and smile. You're trying to make me look good, just because he knows I will be specifically on camera. And so that it is on the cue cards. I see how nice that is. I can tell you got a new pen tonight. So all right, he says he wants his cue cards back. Hold on. Shouldn't have to be so far away. Okay, straight and tie. It's always backwards on the camera. Adjust pocket protector, smile. All right, SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, wherever Bozo Control is these days, and everybody in the green room that would need a check-in. And I guess I got to get myself checked in over the top. Let's go to SWL 34. That's Jimmy and Railroader, Captain Chaos, all the stations out there near Chicago getting you guys checked in, and I bet it is cold out that way. Heard some of the stations up in Minnesota and Wisconsin in 15 today lamenting about the kind of cold weather and snowy conditions. SWL 35, Mr. Bill at Red Monkey Communications, updating the comments. Mr. Bill would often join us at oldtuberadio.net, which you can too, as well if you can't get by the radio or can't jump in live and direct on the YouTube. Who just jumped in? Hello, San Francisco. Coming in the back door. Jump down to the green room. There is good stuff there. I hear through the grapevine that there is good stuff in store in the green room. Let's go to UDX 111 Ken, SWL 36. I'll make sure you didn't slide off my list here somewhere. Steve Arena. Steve, what's going on? I'm working on a Pace 1000B power supply tonight. So I'm assuming that's old school, with big capacitors and all that good stuff. Well, hopefully it will get the power that it needs to work the Pace radio or whatever it's going to be connected to at one time. Gary, hello, radio. What's going on tonight? Checking in, sitting by the fire, having some cocoa and banana bread, ready for another memorable show. I am too. If we can find one in the archives, we'll put it on and play it. All right, we'll continue with the cocoa and banana bread. I'm not a banana bread guy, but I'm definitely a cocoa guy. So that means, Gary, that's more banana bread for you. 28 is officially checked in. We are on the direct net roll call. Real Radio's coming up. 36 checked in, or is checking in. Yes, right there. All right, I see you. Let me redo the official item of interest. Thank you, Ken. Let's go to SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, Dennis, and good evening. It's 38.4 degrees over here.
I know. All of a sudden, we're getting we went all through December without any type of, frost warnings. Watch the citrus trees, and now it's happening.
Yeah, it's 38 on the outside of my patio. Inside the patio, well, it's all open, but it's 2 degrees warmer than it is on the outside the patio.
And we are not done yet. It's going to get a bit more chilly. You know why? Because all the rain went away, and all the clouds went away, and so now we just have a cold air rushing down from the mountains. You are sounding good. Stay where it's warm, and I've got you checked in.
And I do thank you. I was going to tell you, if you go outside to look up, it is beautiful out there. I mean, you can see all the stars for a change. They're not hiding.
I noticed that the other night. I was looking for the moon in its whatever various waxing and waning it's doing. And the first thing I noticed is like, what is all that? And it was stars, because we don't have clouds, we don't have fog. It's the AQI, the air quality index, is way low, which is a good thing, but unusual for here. And so it was kind of nice. Didn't want to stay out too long, but good stuff. All right, thank you, Chris, for jumping in. I heard your practice. I heard you practicing before the net, and it worked out well. Great check-in.
Well, I just checked to make sure it was on, that it was getting out.
It's getting out. Or it's getting up, it's getting down. Over.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Talk to you later. Have a great evening.
Yes, indeed. Waning moon, that's right. And when it's going full, we're waxing. When we're unfulling, that's not a word. When we're going the other way, it's waning. It's waning. The old man is snoring. Let's go to, I lost my place. Look at the cue cards. I know where I should be. SWL 38. Of course, that's Sam. And, who jumped in? Somebody jumped in. Oh, it's Neil, 147. Let me get you now, Neil, since you are in that other time zone. What is going on with you guys? Where it probably isn't all that cold, but it probably has some good skip conditions this afternoon. SWL 39. Shortwave listener 40.
SWL 40 underneath the bench, cleaning.
Are you finding all those little clip leads and little nuts and bolts and things that you lost so long ago?
And several surface mount parts that I will just throw away.
Oh, I'm surprised you can even find them. Surface mount parts that are the size of a flea.
And smaller.
And smaller, yes. All right, thanks for checking in. SWL 41 right there. Thank you, 507 from Orange County. The Orange County REAC, Hudson Valley, New York, as always, doing a good job and jumping in on the old tube radio network. Thanks. SWL 42. Somebody just came in. Ware Shoals, South Carolina, jumping in up on the balcony. SWL 43. SWL 44. SWL 45. I want to say hello to Paul and Kelly. Good to hear you guys last week on the archive replay. I'll have to pull up some more of those. We've got plenty. There are plenty from which to choose. So we'll have to add more of those into the mix. Might be the only way we can get a check-in. SWL 46, Arlen. SWL 47. All right, I hear you from the pool. I have to turn the preamp on, but you are making it. I hope you can hear me over. All right, and tell the audience once again what it is that you are transmitting with. Over. There you are. I was doing various receive trickery, but we hear you on the TRC 217. And in fact, that is the handle that I gave you ever so long ago. It's right here on the list. It says TRC 217 because I think that was the only thing that you had to identify yourself. So I knew when I heard that it was a good thing. It still works. The batteries are charged and you are checked in. Over. All right, back to me in the studio. I put back on the 18 dB attenuator. Just add a little 18 dB, and the Radio Shack walkie-talkie does a good job. SWL 47 out in the back 40 with the extendable telescopic antenna, and he's a couple of miles away, so that's doing a good job. Let's go to SWL 48. That's Mr. KP. I will get him checked in. You know, I missed. Usually checks in at Old Radio Night at the Ditchbanks side. He might check in at ORN. I don't know, but Ditchbanks sideband net. We were doing the live broadcast on the FM last night, so I missed ORN. I'll have to check in with Ron and see what was going on. Over to SWL 49. SWL 50. And Gerald was in. I saw him earlier before the net started out there in Battle Creek, Michigan. Let me give you the X in the square, and he's right there. 29 degrees and 1 inch of snow. It must be January in Battle Creek, Michigan. Yeah, no, I heard the guys here on 15 meters out there, Michigan and Wisconsin, talking about snow. One of the guys was a special defense station. He wasn't too happy about putting up with a little snow, but it wasn't too bad, I guess. Yeah, Foxman, that's Mike. That's how he started long ago. I don't know, 15 years ago. It's been a long time. Checking in to the old tube radio network on that TRC 217. Didn't even have one tube radio. Now he's a regular weekly check-in on his radios, whether they be Robbins or Brownings, or I think he's got a Gonset as well. So that's what happens. You start out with the 217, and then you go into tube radios. It's that foxhole we all like to go down. Let's go to SWL 51, and I did see Dave in earlier. So I get an X in the square for 305 out in Sanger, but he was in. All right, checking some activity there on the crossband. SWL 52. And Michael B, 5059, says good audio from the studio. I guess you mean the studio here. You know, I'll watch the playback sometimes, and I'll think, yeah, I got it set up kind of okay. You know, it doesn't. And then the stations checking in will sound better than I do. It's like, gee whiz, they're not even on the expensive studio microphone, and they sound good. So that's those old tube radios for you. They make you sound good no matter what. And who else? SWO52, SWO53. Mr. Belair checked in at the top of the net. So the X is in the square. Page 3 is where we're going. SWL54 gets a proxy check-in over to SWL55. Just for kicks, SWL56, who joined us earlier with an early check-in. And who is that waving a hand? Nick. I think that's Nick. Yeah, over at the Ontario CB Club. Thanks for jumping in. Everybody's looking good out that way. Let's go to SWL 57. And Matambale, no, the vacuum tube, that is a good, is it in the rack? I took it out of the, oh no, it's up here, but you can't see it. I have, on the chat, Matambale is saying, maybe install a vacuum tube mic preamp in the studio. I have one. It is up here. It's the Art Pro VLA, and it has a 12AX7 in it. And notice it is dark. And when I got the audio board, I bypassed that tube mic preamp. I know, that's counterintuitive to the old tube radio network. And mainly because it has a router built in, so I can route audio to various sources, not only the radio, but to the stream where the mic preamp needed the mic preamp and then another router. So you know what I could do? I could route the incoming stuff through a mic preamp. So everybody that was checking in on the crossband or on the two-way radio would have another 12AX7 they were going through. Something to think about. But I do have one. The studio is sort of semi-equipped. Where am I calling? SW57, SWL58. And did 57 check in? Let me check the chart. That's Brown Dog Audio out there in central Kentucky. And Sabotage DX 666. Are there any snacks left in the green room? Are there any snacks? There will be snacks left. There will be things left over tomorrow. And then Monday morning, you know, when I head out the door, I get a little lunch bag, a little brown paper bag of all the leftovers from the green room for my lunch. And boy, am I a hit on the recess bench, let me tell you. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff. Join us. Let's go to SWL 59. I often have to share, I know. Uncle Hairball, I checked in early, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be back, but I did get 59 checked in early. Like, he came by and said, check me in. And I said, okay. A GTX 3000. I know there's a GTX 5000. I'm not sure what the 3000 is. SWL 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. If you've got a copy on me, I've got an awful lot of static here. The old playground's all lit up with their high sodium lights, and I'm having a lot of trouble with static. We want to say evening time to you and the bunch out there. If you've got a copy on me, SWL 60 checking in, Dennis.
Well, obviously the illumination devices don't affect your transmit because you're sounding great. And hopefully I'm getting over with not too much staticky noise going on, but you sound good. And if you're around the air chair, we'll look for you during the glow-in-the-dark radio.
Appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you much.
Indeed. Well, we got items in the green room. That's where they keep talking about feeding the fish. There's a little little cabinet, little pantry, and I think that is where the cat food and the fish food resides. X in the square for 60. Likewise, an X in the square for 61. Dino checked in just before the net started up. Private Thor, RC Cola and a moon pie. They might have some of them there, but please, if you go to the green room and you get an RC Cola and a moon pie, look at the expiration date before you go any further. SWL 62. Shortwave listener 63. SWL 64, Craig jumped in early and said put an X in the square for him out in Wisconsin. We will do that. SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. And from beautiful Canby, Oregon, where were we to ever get that short skip, probably be able to hear Bill. And I'm checking, he's jumped in, jumped in about an hour ago over at oldtuberadio.net. Looking good. Foxman, a FT101EX. Who has the EDX? Oh, it's NEC. Have a 101EX on channel 21. So you gotta dial it up to 27, whatever it is. .205, 215. I don't remember. Talking to Oklahoma. Well, 11 was on. As long as the sun is up, you'll get some 11 meter stuff. Those are nice ratings. Good on AM. Just remember to keep the carrier, the current, 1 mil or less? Keep those things at no more than 25 watts. Probably a little less. About 25 watts unmodulated. And those little 6Gs, 6Cs, or whatever the sweep tubes in there will love you if you do that. SWL 68. SWL 69. Kenny, if you're watching the replay, we got you checked in early out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thanks for stopping by. SWL 70. Mark is probably out by the fireplace. It's cold up in the hills. SWL 71, I did see Stan about an hour ago in front of the RCA 44 microphonium. Stan, of course, out there in Dallas, Georgia. Thanks, Stan, for jumping in. SWL 72. Shortwave listener 73. Got a proxy in for John. We got a check in for SWL 74. SWL 75. Can't get my mouse to work. SWL 76, Red Fox 1, 76 jumping in, saying southeastern Canada, Nova Scotia, saying 73. Thank you, Quentin, for jumping in there. What's the song? Well, you flew your Learjet to Nova Scotia to see a total eclipse of the sun. I won't go any more than that. Because that's the good part of the lyrics. Let's go to, you were checked in, let's go to SWL 77. Somebody asking, are there any CBHTs with SSB? There is. Somebody made one. I remember seeing it. I don't know how much of a hit it was, but it's sort of a newer thing. Somebody said give a proxy for 77, which I will do. SWL 78. I'm looking for the Lake Elsinore link up on the board, and I do not see, so Wild Wildemar should be in soon. And Foxman, you are correct. Shh, we won't say a thing about that. They have driven on down the road, I hope, safely. Safely and securely far away. And Dwayne says, check the DX maps. Okay, let me see. I had one pulled up earlier, and I'll put it on. Oh, look at that. Okay, the orange, the purple is, and it's got to go around, is the 28 megahertz. So when that goes up, let me bring it up. There it is. That's us. Well, look at that. There's Idaho, and it's coming in. Okay, so it's coming into San Diego. It's coming into Southern California. It's going to come around again. It'll overlay the 10 meter, which is us. There it is. So if that, see, we're right in that hole where nothing's happening. So, yeah, you guys are probably here in Phoenix and everywhere else. So we'll listen in. Things are happening. You can see why the guys in the Midwest are still shooting skip because it's open. The whole Central California is a void of nothingness. Well, not nothingness. We got stuff going on here, but we will find out. All right, thanks for that heads up. And it's telling you true, it looks like.
Dennis?
Hang on. Dwayne is calling. Hello, 30. Oh yeah, you just came up to 9 over. So thanks for calling up the map. You were right on.
Yeah, I've been listening. I was just down there listening to Wagon Master on Lower 38 talk over to Seattle, so I knew we were.
Yeah, a lot of QSB. We were right on the edge. It's not really into Central California yet, but it is happening. Sounding good. And we've got you officially checked in 10 and 30 over. All right, well, there you go. Live and direct, checking the DX map, and that little loop from Idaho down into California, and he's making it into the hole where he's not supposed to be. But you know that Dwayne and Chrissy, they are the consummate CB operators up there in northern Idaho. So if there's conditions, they will make them work. All right, Harvey, you heard it first. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've got a super high noise level over here. I've been turning everything off around here, trying to figure out if it's in my place. But it happens for a while and then goes away. I need you to give me a telephone call after the show's over. It's semi-important, so hopefully tonight, okay?
All right. If you're around, remind me again, and we will do that here on the semi-important frequency.
Frequency R.
And speaking of well, not semi, but very important, the break OTR, go ahead.
24 checking in.
24 checking in. Someone proxied you in, but I will turn that into an official, as we say in the business here, official X in the square. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks. Have a good night.
That was a Browning Eagle. That's the radio check-in. So if you don't make it back, Dwayne, we'll get the Browning checked in because that was official.
Thank you.
What's the model on that, by the way? Is that the Mark III? All right, the Mark III, the Mark III. I'll make sure I get it in there so we got our first radio.
Thank you much.
Back to the roll call. We were looking for Wild Wildemar. See, I got you. I got shit. There is nothing in the script. There is nothing in the cue cards that say pause for a check-in from northern Idaho. So I'm always a little proud when I get to kind of run the program here on my own without reading it off of something. So thanks, Dwayne. You just gave me another little niche on the pocket protector. Didn't hear Lake Elsinore, 78. 79 checked in early. If you are there, DC, take a transmission. Let's go to page 4, SWL 81. And is Denver listening in? I wonder if Rob is hearing us up there. And where are you at? Is it Greeley? I have to log in because I never remember. It's something Park or whatever. But he's always listening in, and also one of those first to tell us when we're getting some skip. Let me tell you, the Universal Media Netweb is frozen tonight. Woodland Park, that's the one. Well, I'm seeing Denver, so hello in Denver if you're hearing us. We're on 27085. Let me go back to the check-in chart. Let's go to SWL 82.
Hey, good evening. Near and far away, 82 is checking in from the ditch banks of Biola.
I know they can hear you up in northern Idaho because you actually have a good station with a good antenna. I was doing the live. We're back to our live radio things once a month, so I missed Friday night. So did you have any skip like this? Over?
No, we did not. It was quiet. So, yeah, this is pretty neat. I see a lot of activity going on here on the screen.
Yeah, so there's people are out there. They just wait for things to happen. I don't know what constitutes that. If we have a little bubble going in the atmosphere. Anywhere you are sounding good, that is the voice, the purveyor of the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens here in Central California on Fridays starting at 8 p.m. up on lower sideband channel 36. So check in if you can. There's a roll call, but there's plenty of space for visitors. And Ron, like I said, you've got a good transmitter and a good antenna. He will hear you if the conditions are open. Thanks for jumping in.
All right, Dennis. Thanks.
Uh-oh, and a big geomagnetic storm. So I'll have to see where the A and K numbers are, because that's usually an indication that things are going to go, as we say in the business, toes up. A is 32 and K is 4. Wow. All right. So, oh yeah, the field is active. It's showing that all bands are shut down. So that happens. We get some, like auroral flutter. There's a word for you. Up here on 11 meters and 10 meters and 6 meters. So, yeah, according to the chart, nothing should be working. And then here we are talking, what is it, like 500 miles, 700 miles in northern Idaho. Let's go to SWL 83. SWL 84. And I couldn't get in. He signed off. Jerry was on the Jefferson net on Friday, and I got a phone call when I came back. He had already signed off, but he was sounding good. I can't remember. I think he was running the FT 101. So we'll get Jerry and Mountain Maid and Tandy Girl and Snowy Owl checked in 84, 86, 87, and 88. And if I can get a check-in with Jerry, I'll have to record it. He'll have to send a message to all the old Tube Radio Network crew. Echolink link is up. That's the noise you hear. People getting ready for that. SWL 89.
Contact.
The contact, go ahead, over.
Hey, Dennis. 70 checking in late. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Boy, sounding good. I figured you were out. I think we got a proxy check. Somebody proxied you in, but figured you were out shoveling snow.
No, not quite. It's not near cold enough down here.
All right. Well, it's 38 here, so I'm thinking you've at least got that.
I haven't looked, but I don't think so, man. I'll have to look, but I don't think it's that cold. But anyhow, all is well. Hope you are well. Back to net control. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I will get you checked in, and I'm glad there's not any snow. And good deal. Thanks for checking in. And yes, I hear you. KB6
Maybe I should look now.
Well, I know we're getting 30s here in the valley, so and it's not foggy. It's not the inversion thing. It's the real winter.
Hello, Dennis. Can you hear me?
KS6 TB, I can hear you. You're sounding good, Albert. Over. SWL 71. No, we're not at 71.
Well, I've got a
we were just at 70. I'm resetting.
Chet
is pointing at the chart. He says, you're not on 71.
I say hi to all the SWLs.
Let's go to Albert here.
Out there, and I'm looking forward to the radios tonight. You know, it's awful.
All right, I hear you. It looks like you're having some possible internet connections. A little bit broken up on the audio, but coming through tonight here on the old Tube Radio Network. So thanks for joining us. Stay warm. I heard the guys talking about snow on the ground and things like that. So stay safe with that. But thanks for joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. And and that's Albert out in the Sparks, Reno area, jumping in on the Echo Link. I think he's having some internet connection problems. Back to the directed net roll call. We are looking for SWL 90. I'm in sync with the cue cards again. Thanks. SWL 91. Felix checked in earlier. I do have an X on the square. If you're still watching or listening, Felix, but you're not by the keyboard of the radio, got you checked in. SWL 92. Shortwave listener 93. Had Leo's audio doppelganger on skip for about an hour today coming in. Is it showtime? Whoever it was, good audio, but not as good as Leo. I'll give him a proxy check-in. Let's go to SWL 95. And hello to UDX 510, Yank Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining us up here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 96. Shortwave listener 97. Does it snow in Boston? I think it does. Popcorn 913. It looks like they just reset, the little popcorn popper with the glass and the popcorn comes over the top and you take the little colored box. They just refilled that and it's on in your honor. So it's come back in 5 minutes when everything's popped. We're saving you the first bucket. So you can take a picture of it for your meme there. Popcorn 913. Let's go to SWL 98. Tracy, got you checked in here in the Old Tube Radio Network. And Rob's checking the skip on that. So yeah, you guys are going to be. Let me see if I go back to the chart again. I think you're going to be totally different than what we're doing. When we get the purple overlay, that's like all the other bands. Let's see with the purple overlay. That's it. Yeah. See, we're like nothing in Central California where that star is. That star represents OTR. And when we get the purple overlay, that is definitely in Texas and in Idaho. Yeah, see, it's throwing you guys up. You may be able to talk to Dwayne. You stay on 11. You might hear the guys in Idaho talking somewhere. So the band is, even though according to the chart with this super active solar geomagnetic storm going on, the bands are supposed to be close. So this is when the wacky stuff happens. This is when the strange things happen, so keep your ears open. Maybe even 6 meters will be opening up tonight. Let's go to SWL 99. Randy, I got an email from Randy. He's going to help one of the local stations here. The guy that got me on the air about 40-something years ago set up some audio, so I know they're going to do that. I'm looking forward to hearing the good sounds. Radio Randy out in Arizona gets you checked in tonight. And then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back over to the Echolink link. Go back over to the Echolink link and pick up a few stations. First will be SWL 100. Tony, KD4BAO from KB6GFD. Take a transmission over. And Tony is our purveyor of tubes on the air. Let's see how it's going tonight.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. And back to net control, KD4BAO.
Looking and sounding good. The tubes on the air. I talked to a POTA station today. In, where was it? Tuland. I have to check my chart. But our TOTA, Tubes on the Air station, is right here, Tony, and he's firing up the tubes. He's polishing them up, and we'll be going here in a couple minutes. Thanks. 73, KB6GFD. And I want to do one more. We've got the Echolink linked up, and Nick is listening. So let me see if you can grab me with some audio here. VA3FSC from KB6GFD. Take a transmission, Nick, over. That's from the Ontario CB Radio Club. See if he's got it. He's got some audio.
Roger. Dennis, good evening. For those of you who don't know, it's Nick from Toronto. I can see you guys on the chat here. I want to say hello to everybody. I hope this radio is working. So, good job as always. Yeah, I can see you there. I can see you. All right, we are here. We're listening.
All right, good. Nice audio on the Echo Link. I put the meters up, so when you watch the replay, you can see yourself talking, and up in the corner, that's the output of the transmitters. You can see you've got good 100%. 105% asymmetrical modulation. That's how good the audio is coming over the Echo Link. Good to hear you. Good to chat with you on the amateur radio band, and looking forward to more. Thanks. Stay warm out there, and thanks for joining us on OTR 73 KB6GFD. So it's good to have some stations linking in.
QSL, I have to wait for the tubes to warm up before I start transmitting. So thanks for the contact. I'm going to say 73, Victor Alpha 3, Foxtrot Sierra Charlie.
73 from KB6GFD. You are listening on 27085 or oldtuberadio.net, or possibly watching the Old Tube Radio Network. In the control room here, stations coming in through the receiver and out through whatever various trickery we have to get the audio to you. The intent of this net that started 40 years ago was to promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios, get people on the air to drive at least once a week their tube radio that had been sitting around. You know, it's 1986, and solid state is all the rage, and that tube radios are not getting used. So a couple of stations here in town put together a little night on the air, and it's still happening. It's I don't know how, but we'll talk to some of those radios in just a bit. So if you weren't around 40, 50, 60 years ago, you'll get to hear the sounds of the radios, the demeanor of how things worked, and it was different. Nobody was on their phone. Nobody was in social media. The place to be if you wanted to talk to somebody clandestinely was to jump behind the microphonium of your CB radio. And millions of people did that, believe it or not. Now there are, 6 or 7 somewhere out there. Continuing with the roll call, let's go to SWL 102. And Chet put a little mark. He says, after Echolink, I won't grab it. I'm not going to pull your card. After Echolink, stay on the 100s. Don't jump around. Scranton, Arkansas, checking in, 102, looking good. I can't miss that. The little text on that chat window is so small, but John is always good enough to put this giant green X so I can see what's going on. Let's go over to SWL 103. I'm checking. Sometimes Joey catches me on, there he is, 2 hours ago. Checking in early. Got beat up today. I hope he means like figuratively, not literally, right? Got to crash. All right. So, Joey, if you are watching, you'll see your number. You'll see checking in. Wait a minute. And then you'll see the word checked in. Boom. And there you go. You're official. Thanks for your heads up over in the .net. And I hope your rest put you back together again. Sort of like Humpty Dumpty. Let's go over to SWL 109. Somebody said proxy in 109. I will get Mr. Crawdad proxied in. SWL 111, Robert checked in live. He's probably on the audio replay before we turned on the big tube. Came in live and direct from Reedley. We got another Echolink link I'll try and pick up before we switch over to the tubes. Out there in Two-Land, we'll grab that. Let's go to SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114. 114, hello, Wayne. Rick Shaw with the X in the Square. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday night.
Hello, Dennis. Thank you for the X in the Square.
And let me rewind to the other row because I looked at my screen and via the iPad tonight, got radio active and digitally active. All right, well, thanks for remembering. Maybe you have. Do you have a timer set? Little thing that goes off and says OTR. Well, thanks. 109. Let me put the official check in. Yeah, for Mr. Crawdad on the iPad. All right, you can go back to the interesting thing on your iPad screen now. Thanks for checking in. Over we go to SWL 128. That's John. When we went digital, as it were, on the audio side, John was one of our first, what we called DSWLs, our first digital shortwave listeners. 10, 12, I don't know. It's a long time ago, and he's still out there figuring it out. Even though our system crashes, he manages to find us and check in. So, John, there's your official X in the Square. Joining us, the BM Goldwater Air Force Range, Arizona, jumping in way up in the balcony tonight. And I'll just mention the Barry M. It's Barry M. Goldwater is the BM Goldwater Air Force Range, and I believe Barry was a ham. Now I don't know if he was on. Back in the day when 11 meters was a ham band, and if so, it's very possible that Mr. G was on the 11 meter radio. But we may never know. Okay, wait a minute. Just because you're there, let me see if I can get this picture. Because he's a radio guy. Oh, this is perfect. I want to show this. Because, okay, here it is. Can we get that? There it is. There's a young Barry Goldwater with the first ham radio set in Phoenix. And tell me true. Look what he's wearing. He's got a tie. I tell you, back in the day, if you didn't dress properly to get on your radio, there would be hell to pay. And there is his call. He was a 7 call. I don't have his call anyway, but there's Mr. G, who probably got his J38 key and the headphones that kill your ears, and doing the radio thing, and sporting that radio tie, that radio tie on the two-way. All right, but I digress. The old Tube Radio Network, where are we? I know, look at the cue cards. Just checked in 128. Let's go to SWL 131. SWL 133. SWL 135. And I will get a check in for Mr. Green Arrow. I wasn't sure if he was going to be on the 2-meter radio or not. Steve Areno, update on the old Tube Radio Network. Steve has fixed the 100B pace base power supply, and it is now working. It is getting the proper plus voltages and minus voltages and current and whatever else is supposed to be happening, 13.8 maybe, to fire up the radio. So Matambale, Barry was on, I mean, that's a shot when he was just a kid. So when is that? The 20s, I guess, yeah. 6 BPI in 1922. Other calls, W2 Zanzibar Mike and Kilowatt 3 Uniform India Golf, and he was a K7 UGA, I think. He was a 7 call back in Arizona, but that's when he had a newer tie. All right, good. Thanks for that information. Yeah, K7 UGA. Thanks, Rob. I couldn't remember. Never heard him, never talked to him. I don't think by the time he wasn't around, I don't think I was licensed. I could have maybe listened in. Who knows? Directing that roll call. We're going. They're giving me this. This is the speed up thing. SWL 137. Tony, SWL 145. Tony, if you're listening, I heard you on the Ditch Banks net like 2 weeks ago, what was it? And the Wednesday night net sounding good. So, Tony, I'll get you checked in. I think Tony left us some questions, which we will get to quickly at the end of the net here. Also want to pick up... they're gone. I was going to pick up at the other Echolink station, but they dropped out. Let's go to SWL 147. Neil checked in early. So, Neil, we got you. Let's go to SWL 188. Bobby. Yeah, we're still transmitting up to northern Idaho. SWL 195 up in Corscold. Over. Hello, 195. I hear a key up, but I'm not sure if that's Skip or whatever. 195. Jim, I'm going to check you in if you're listening. SWL 223. Listening in from Madera Town. And I was able to get for some reason, that Mustang 2 picture, it gives me fits to try and get it on various modes because of how I have it set up. But featuring the Mustang 2 from the collection. So sounding good, looking good. And then over to SWL 226. And we get Shockwave checked in. I bet Mr. G was a 20 and 6 meter guy. I bet he had a 6 meter kilowatt station, like my Elmer Ken did. I remember in his garage, as big, the size of a refrigerator. It was a kilowatt on 6 meters. Anybody else that I missed? And then we'll go quickly to the questions, courtesy of Tony from the Friday Net. Here we go. Question number 1. All of the following have an effect, but what is the primary factor in determining the orbital period of a satellite? Oh, brother. Okay, so we're talking about orbital satellites. So all the following have an effect, but what's the primary? What's the big deal? Is it the mass of the satellite? Is it the maximum velocity of the satellite during launch? Is it the satellite's altitude after reaching orbit?
Alpha Juliet 6, Papa Delta.
Oh, there's Tony now. Maybe he's going to answer the question. Hello, Tony. KB6 GFD. I hear you. Over. We're reading the questions.
Please check in 145. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, will do. We're reading your questions over the air right now, and you are checked in. Thanks, Tony. KB6 GFD. So speaking of satellites.
23 AJ6 PD, and I'm clear.
So when you're launching a satellite, what's the thing that determines the orbital period of the satellite? Is it the mass, the size of the satellite? Is it the velocity of the satellite during launch? Is it the satellite's altitude after reaching orbit? Or the satellite's surface area that interacts with solar wind? Don't ask me about a solar wind. Well, orbital altitude from Cornbread, trajectory, says somebody. I thought it would be the speed. Was there one maximum velocity? Velocity. I thought it would be the velocity when you send it up there. The orbital altitude and the trajectory. Okay, the answer, if I can find it. Okay, the answer, somebody got it right, and it wasn't me. The answer is altitude. Who was that? Yeah, Cornbread. The orbital altitude is the big determining factor for the orbital period of the satellite. Okay, the period. So maybe the higher it is, as it's slowly coming down, right? So if you want it to be X number of years, you better stick it here because it's slowly coming down. Is that what happens? If you stick it way here, well, it's whatever. Okay. Sounds about right. So a couple of you did get that right. Are you launching your own satellites in the backyard, maybe? All right, one more question, then we'll continue. All right, here's Skip coming in. Trying to figure out where they're coming from. Who would have thought? We've got geomagnetic storms. The A and K are horrible, and there's Skip talking all over the U.S. Question number 2. In the PID days, that's what it says, PID, in the PID days, radio frequency was described with another term than hertz. What was the answer? All right, everybody knows this. Okay, that should be the old days. In the old days, that's what we're doing. In the old days, radio frequency was described with another term than hertz. And we often use it here. And were you to look right down on your very old tube radio, and instead of seeing MHZ or KHZ, you might see CPS or something like that. You might see, yes, indeed, the cycles. Bicycles, gravitational pull, MCKC, yes, cycles per second. All right, very good. Good questions, Tony, as always. I will be back in a moment. I got to change some cables here for the tube radios, and hopefully we might get one or two. It is really quiet out here. It is cold. People are gathering around the fireplace when indeed they should be jumping next to their 6146s and 12AX7s and warming up that way. Back in a moment here on your old tube radio network with the Skip rolling in.
OTR. SWL 52 standing by. And boy, I can't believe this is my first transmission with a new radio.
All right, let me jump back in the air chair here. Alrighty, let me jump back in the air chair before we officially transfer to the tube section. I hear you 51 over, or 52.
Yeah, Roger. This is the inaugural transmission from the closet of the 7300 Mark II. I don't even have it hooked up to the computer yet.
Wow. All right, nice audio. What are you doing? Are you just plugging the microphone in?
Yeah, I literally plugged it. I did a very, very slight EQ, and then I plugged the mic in.
Wow. All right. That sounds excellent.
Well, wait until I get the golden microphone on it.
All right, you may not need it. I don't know. Well, I mean, the prior version of that radio also sounded pretty good out of the box, but I think this sounds even better. It's just totally perfectly articulate. There's not a lot of low frequencies, but that's okay. But it doesn't sound bad, and it's nice and loud.
Well, I rolled the low frequencies off a little bit because and I'll tune it a little bit more because when I get onto my Heil, I have to roll off the lows. That microphone's got way too much low end.
Well, it sounds like really good AM. It doesn't have, that Yaesu sound where it sounds like more sideband, or the Kenwood, more sideband than AM. So, good deal. It's a keeper for amplitude modulation, that's for sure.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so first transmission, and I needed to make sure that they did the Mars mod.
You are talking to Mars, buddy.
Yeah, Roger. Thanks for the check-in and back into the woodwork. And oh, by the way, you are. I am modulating my screen. My screen is showing up on the TV over by my computer, and I can see the modulation on the screen. This is fun. Anyways, SWL 52 back into the woodwork.
Very good. It is working. All right, we haven't officially started the second part of the net. So, but I heard you while I was running around behind the rack here, and I wanted to catch you. And the skip is rolling from north and south. We've had a solar item, some activity, which is, in theory, closed up all the other bands, but it's opened up 11 meters for some reason. So you're in good company here.
Break.
Good old TVI. The break, I know that. The break, go ahead.
195 checking in. I don't know if I'm early or late.
You are like in the twilight zone. I haven't started the tube radios. We got delayed after the SWL check-ins, of which you are a part. So I'm putting the 195 up now because the list is on, and I'll use your check-in to introduce. I got to find the right picture here to introduce our tube radio time of the year on the old Tube Radio Network 73. Jim, and thanks for joining us.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you on
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
Oh man, they are way overmodulated. Well, they were pretty loud. All right, I had to go grab a couple of old Tube radio sheets because we didn't have any for 2026. And thank you, Charlie just went and ran them out. See, it says that 2026 check-in sheet, so I can get rid of that one. I was going to recycle one, but I won't have to do that now. So I will officially sign in and say, you're listening to the old Tube Radio Network, and we are listening for any and all Tube Radio check-ins over. And we did have our first one. I'm going to mark our first radio in at like 8:30, and that was Dwayne on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III. He may make a repeat performance on that. Well, you can get some of those. They've got those faux Nixie tube clocks. Maybe you can get a couple of the little digital faux Nixie tubes and put them in the case there. All right, that may be a radio check-in. Did I hear a Browning on frequency? Over.
Hey, Dennis, I still have my high noise level.
Okay, UDX 510 he's heading for the chopper. We're going to get traffic reports. Maybe we should do that. We have our in the air, OTR in the air, looking up at the E and the F and the D layers and letting us know that we're going to have a little bit of skip over Texas. Looks like if you're on the 11-meter band above Channel 20, you'll have smooth sailing from northern Idaho through British Columbia. So maybe we can do that. Can you hear me, Harvey, on through your high noise level?
Well, I can hear you, but some people I can't hear because it's just a lot of static. So just let me know when I can talk.
14.
All right. Well, listen in for this guy. He's really strong in central Fresno, and maybe he can make it through your noise level because he's sounding good here in Midtown. 14, it is your turn. I'm putting your number on the list. You can't get out of it now. Over.
Yeah, no problem. I wanted to say that Dwayne was really coming in great out here in Sanger this evening. Tonight, I would like to check in my Dimco satellite, and this satellite has the modulator and a bandalizer meter, which I have functioning, swinging away here, so I know I must be making that trip. And I'm also on an amplified D104 microphone tonight. Back to you.
Well, you sound good up here in Hokie. Sound good in Hokie.
All right. Well, you're sounding good somewhere. You're sounding good here. Of course, my radio database that I had set up just crashed. So once I find it, then hopefully we will get a picture of the Demco. In the meantime, I'm going to have you take a couple of transmissions because the band is open, and I think people are hearing you all over the place. Over.
Yeah, it appears that we have some kind of conditions, and, this Demco is the Magic Eye radio, so I'm watching it wink and close at me, letting me know that I'm modulating. I just love that feature about it there. And it's a radio that Harvey put together for me. It took him quite a time. It's all mismatch pieces, and everything functions properly together, and I've never had any problems with this radio other than a loose microphone connector, and other than that, it works great. The Dimco bandalizer is a gigantic meter. It also has a filled strength meter on it as well, so it's got a little antenna you can pull up and actually check somebody's signal strength there, or your own maybe if you were outside running around with it. But yeah, that's a pretty good transmission there. Maybe you've got everything back in order on your end.
That's a lot. I heard you up here, 14.
Take it.
Appreciate that, Dwayne, man. You come screaming in here with that eagle.
Thank you much. Back to net control.
All right, so the favor was returned. They hear you and you hear them. Over.
Yeah, that's for sure. Boy, you sounded really good tonight. It's been a spell since I've heard you down this way, Dwayne, so really good to hear you be on the program here, especially on the tube radio portion. Maybe we should let Dwayne jump in there and tell us about his radio while he's got conditions.
Yeah, you guys take it. That's what we're supposed to do here is talk tube to tube. Dwayne, take a transmission.
Where are you? Okay, I can do that. I am running the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, and I do have an amplified D104 on it because my big mouth can only do so much. I wanted to hear what it sounded like versus the unamplified that I've been running with this thing for years, and getting to do that tonight has been remarkably good. I'm running it into a Moonraker 4 pointed down you guys' way, and 14 is just blasting in here. I can hear Harvey, I can hear Dennis, but I still do hear a little quacking in the background when Dennis Let's go ahead.
Yeah, big time. All right, take it, Sean.
Yeah, boy, you were really there at the end of that, man. You had me. It was all the way in the old, what would be a cherry patch, but it is green on the Dimco satellite. So, man, what a transmission there, Dwayne. Sounded really good tonight. And you're not running your barefooted there with that Brownie?
No, I can't quite say that. I wished I was, but I couldn't be doing this good.
Yeah, it's making quite a transmission. I've got my Dimco satellite here with the Phantom 500 behind it, and like I said, I've got the modulator. I've got it dialed in to where my neighbor Dave says it sounds the best, and it seems to be making a good trip on the meters here. Back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are one of the loudest stations. You're up there. I think you'd rival 188 if Bobby was out here right now. That is how remarkable that thing is doing up here.
Well, I appreciate that, Dwayne. Yeah, Bobby's real loud when he gets it checking in. I hear him come banging in over here my way with his beam there. But
drops out. So I'm going to say it's been fun, and Doug, I'm going to have to get contact info from Harvey so we can get in touch there and swap some stories, because I sure enjoy getting to sit here and talk to you. We just run into each other mostly during the nets here. Anyway, 73s, it's been fun. That info is top shelf, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dwayne. 73s to you too, man. Always good talking. And how about you take it now, Dennis?
All right, ask him what antenna he's running.
Yeah, what antenna are you running there again, Dwayne?
An old original Moonraker 4.
The Moonraker 4. Yeah, that's the James Bond one there.
And it's pointed the right way, that's for sure.
I sat here and goofed around with it while I was listening to the directed roll call there, so I think we got her dialed in. All right, you guys have fun. Get back to it, and we'll get some more radios checked in.
All right, thanks, Dwayne. Sounding good. And I'll get myself a real radio so that you can hear me. Over to Sean. How many pieces on the radio? Are you at 4 or 5? Over.
So right now I'm at 5, and I do have a Demco Demon 250 out there in the garage that I am working on that I got from Phil. So I'm really looking forward. Hopefully I'll be able to make an all Demco trip here in the future.
Looking good and sounding good. Something we don't normally get to do, and that's talk from northern Idaho to Central California, Sanger, Central California, Fresno, and everybody's hearing everybody, and especially on a night when there's not supposed to be any propagation. What's the mix? I think it has a lot to do with a lot of tubes firing up tonight. Sounding good, Sean, and thanks for reopening the window for some skip.
Yeah, thank you. And if you can still hear me out there, Dwayne, it was good chatting with you there. And thanks for the time for the Demco satellite tonight.
All right, so there you go. We've got the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III from afar, the Demco CB1 from not as far, but far out from here. And then, as Dwayne so appropriately mentioned, where did it go? As he appropriately mentioned, the Mud Duck station here at Net Control. Harvey, could you hear any of that?
I can hear a little bit, but I've got a lot of static, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. But it's not my house, so I'm going to have to go out and beat up a neighbor.
Yeah, see if it goes away, like it's on a timer. I had that. The static will be on a timer, and wacky things will happen. Let me see if there's any other stations that may be standing by locally with the tube radio, and then if you feel like talking, Harvey, we'll send it over to you. Occasionally, break just to see if we've got any stations listening, or maybe the conditions are open to somewhere else. But are there any another local stations that would like to get on the tube radio list here? We're looking for radio number 3. Got your Moonrakers pointed somewhere.
And good evening, Harvey, if I got any kind of conditions down your way.
And you're 10 over. Are you running the Moonraker flat or vertical?
I am using the flat right now because if I go to vertical, you guys disappear.
Yeah, okay, well, that's the reason I asked there. That's the response I wanted. So people building antennas, they'll build a horizontal dipole and say, it works great for skip, but guess what? It ain't going to work too good locally if everybody's running vertical, and vice versa. So you almost need 2. You almost need to build 2 antennas if you're building them, or like Dwayne has, a nice little Moonraker where you can flip the switch over.
Precisely why I have this, so I didn't have to build 2.
And before we go, let me bring up the DX map once again. I'm just curious now that we're hearing you. So it's still showing that we're having a big gap in Central California, but obviously the whole state of Idaho is covered. You guys will probably have some real decent coverage just about everywhere, unless that hasn't updated on me. But good conditions tonight, even though we shouldn't have them.
I was listening
And what's funny is there's got to be 400 stations on 11 during the day. And I guess they all switch it off at night when the sun goes down, because I'm surprised we're not getting any, crosstalk. I don't hear anything from the mini grass. It's just you. And if I had a good antenna and probably pointed around, I would hear something. But you are the guy tonight on Skipland.
That's amazing. I heard some stuff in the background earlier on when I was listening to the feed. So, yeah, it's definitely an interesting night. That's a fact.
Well, it's nice to know that it can happen sometime. All right, let's go. Harvey, if you are there, why don't you, maybe we can break this up in a couple of chunks here. So the first section of what you want to get out there, let's give that a try as we are listening to Skip, and don't forget to give a couple of breaks now and then. Over.
Well, somebody's reminding me that I tend to talk too much. Okay, I plan to do that anyway. Okay, first radio, Browning R68, T68 with a banana mic. Works fine, 250. Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, very good condition, gold cases on there. It's had a modification done, so there's an extra knob on the front or so. I have to familiarize myself with what it actually all does, but it's got a gold D104 that's in pretty darn good shape that goes with it, 350. Okay, next one. Demco Satellite CB1. Got a bunch of accessories that go with it. It's got the modulator, a meter, etc. It's in very good condition, 300, and I'll stop there for right now.
All right, good. A triple whammy, perfect transmission. I was actually taking notes, and so that is, I think we're good on that one. Over.
Okay, a Courier 23 works really well. I'm not sure if a mic goes with it or not, but if he doesn't have one, I can probably come up with one if the person needs it. $100 even for that. A Knight C22, which is a small radio, 23-channel tunable receive, about 5 or 6 channels, something like that. It's got an original manual with it, 100. Comes with the mic. I think it's wired in there, stock mic. Cobra Cam 88 comes with a D104, 125, and then we'll stop there.
That's you would never be a mud duck with all those selections.
Harvey, will there be pictures?
Will there be pictures? I can come up with pictures. I can go and take pictures of them if you'd like. But it'll take me a day or two to do that, and I can put it up next week.
And I may actually have some pictures of those. I'll have to just match to see if they're the same ones. All right, did you have a couple more you wanted to do? Over.
Couple more? Okay. A Hammerland 105 TR. A Hammerland, well, no, I don't think he wants that one done. Okay. The 105 TR, I don't know a price yet. Okay, forget that. Okay. A Fanon Fanfare XM 2300 comes with, I believe, custom mic. The radio is green, I believe, and the microphone D104 is green also. So it's kind of a set. Then we have the Phantom Fanfare is $150. The Lafayette HE 15B, older one, $75. Lafayette Comstat 25B with a Lafayette desk mic, $125. And I'll stop there.
Okay, does the HE15B have a microphonium?
I believe it's wired in with it. And you need to transmit, there's a lever for you to push down on.
Yeah, I think those are the old D-wall. Those are the early 60s version with the, what is it, JT called? The flush to talk. All right, I got space for more.
Okay, I left off there. Okay, an International Crystal Manufacturing CTZ 100. Looks very good. Has a chrome type modulator that they made that sits on top, or you put it aside. Has a stock mic and a super sidekick that goes with it. And it has the big meter speaker that goes with it, 200. Then a Johnson Messenger Viking, the gray front one, has two mics, ice cream cone and the plastic mic, I think square one, 100. Then a Messenger 223, we're familiar with that, has its stock mic, and an Aircastle JE 321. Oh, the Messenger is $75. The Aircastle JE 321. We're not sure about a mic. I'll provide one if needed. 100.
All right, I got that. All right, maybe we should we stop there?
Well, it's 9:50. Okay, take some other people, and then I've got another bunch that I want to mention. No prices yet for them, but I want to mention them fairly quickly so people know about them.
Okay, we'll do that at the end, coming up here. We'll try and get out of here on time, so that gives us another 5 minutes or so for some more radio check-ins. Not sure where the band is going. We got lucky that the the conditions came in right at the perfect time during the net, and the before stuff went away. And I don't know why we're getting the DX conditions, but we are. See if there's any other local stations. Call for local check-ins at this time. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and if you didn't know it was the Old Tube Radio Network, we are indeed the friendly favorite place here on the West Coast. Let me see if we can get the Jingle Singers to tell us that indeed we are the friendly favorite place.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Station for you, and maybe you, and Peter and the gang up in British Columbia are saying they're starting to get some conditions down this way as well. I even noticed my noise level coming up. Hey, Joe, I've got a spot for you on the list. Now is a good time to get right in. The Old Tube Radio Network, 60. Tell us what is going on over.
Thank you much. Dennis, doggone it. Harvey's been mentioning about this static my static was so bad, I had to get off the ASU. It just was terrible. I thought maybe something was wrong with it. Anyway, Dennis, I'm on a little Pretty Blue radio. I think you know which one it is. The Hustler radio, the Hustler base. 7 tubes, 8 channels, and the hardware to go with it.
The hardware, the knobs are connected. The meter is functioning. The microphonium, although not hardwired in anymore, is up and running. And great modulation for just, 7 tubes over?
You'd think there would be 7 big tubes. No, little bitty tubes, about 3/4 the size of a loaf of bread. It has this carrying handle, Dennis. It has this little mic hanger. And thanks to Harvey there, we have a good solid plug now that we can, Cobra-type plug that we can use other microphones. But I wanted to be sure and get this one checked in. I know it was, I think a couple of weeks ago when I last checked this one in. But Dennis, we have a little meter on it in a vertical position. A little 2x2 meter box on it. Has a few knobs. Has your volume, your squelch, spotter knob, and also has a little extra crystal socket in the front there to add an extra channel, I guess.
Yes, it does. I'm looking to see, if I can get, where is that? Where is that picture? It should be up there to get a, no. Sorry. I'm having technical difficulties. There we go. There we go. There's the full page if you're watching the video. The crystal socket on the right-hand side. And I believe for you to initialize that, you will go to your channel selector and hit the EXT. I guess that's after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will be your transmit for whatever you plug into that thing.
Okay, well, I don't know if... there is something plugged in now, but I'll have to find out from Harvey there how you work that part. I don't know what crystal is in that slot. It could be anyone, it could be anything from 1 to 20 maybe, or 1 to 8, I don't know. I don't know too much about the crystals. But Dennis, I appreciate you letting me check this one in. She runs pretty cool. I can count on her, and I can count on the guy next to her. I'm having a little trouble with the one below it. I was working on the microphone just now. That static was so bad that I thought maybe it was the radio that I was having trouble with.
Well, Paul Newman never took a liking to that radio, but as SWL23, we'll get you checked in there, Skidoo mentioned Jackie Gleason's favorite radio, and possibly even Jackie Gleason's favorite radio operator at the microphonium, the Hustler with the Hustler. It's our Radio 3. Thanks to World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson, for putting it out ever so long ago. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Dennis. It was definitely a pleasure on my end.
Indeed. And while I am here, let me get back to the control room. We'll say hello to Mr. 23 checking in from, I don't know, maybe he has gone to his winter CB hideout in the Bahamas, but nonetheless, 23 checked in. We're looking for maybe another radio before we jump out here. We're going to head over to Harvey for another list of items of interest, but I wanted to give some time for some local radios. We've been having some not-so-locals radios check in from the skip tonight, and that's been fun. It looks like this cloud is moving from Idaho up through British Columbia, so we might have some more surprises here before we hang out.
47 surprise?
All right, yeah, I hear you. It's still working, so we'll see. Maybe once we sign off here tonight, if everybody wants to stick around, we'll continue on with the discussion and not have the net get in the way. Radio 4 has queued up. Let me go to 47 and take a transmission over.
Oh, good God.
it takes forever to clean off the radio patio after you've cooked a whole meal out there, for God's sakes.
That's what the big blanket of aluminum foil is for, heavy duty.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, but what I can comment on is the delightful Robin T123, which has been warming up, unlike me. It's been warming up for at least 20 minutes or so.
Well, it's made for these cold, wintry nights. And it knows that, when the temperature gets below 50, to not put on shorts over.
Yeah, don't tempt me. I think my neighbors know me to do yard work in that temperature with shorts on. But we're not going to talk about that. But we will talk about the first tube radio I ever owned. This one, I almost took it out on the patio tonight. I'm glad I didn't, because goodness sakes, we got the Coleman stove going, both burners, and the barbecue going. There's a lot to clean up, and this thing never needs any maintenance whatsoever. Have I done? No, I haven't done Windex on this. I think it's almost been indestructible. I hope I'm not jinxing myself.
Well, there wasn't any crackling. Your signal did not fade down to zero on that transmission. So while it's still working, take another one.
Good. Well, I thought I was going to have to run and get the Windex and start hosing it down. But this one's got the Magic Eye tube, which was, of course, as I've said, for decades, well, almost decades. It's got the Magic Eye tube. I think it's a 6RE13. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. These Magic Eye tubes, I don't know how old this exact Magic Eye tube is, but it's enchanting, and it's just, I love it. It's unbelievable. Everyone's got to get a Magic Eye tube in their collection, especially one that's as active as this is, probably in large part due to the amplified D104 mic I'm using on this radio.
Always has good audio, and you can. That's what the 6RE13 tube. Let me get the extended picture here. That is on the front of the radio. They cut out a little rectangular thing and they sketch in there, and that is the tube. We're looking right into the side of the tube. It's mounted vertically, and from top to bottom, I guess the voltage makes the two glowing areas come together when it gets whatever full voltage or whatever it would be for, in theory, 100% modulation, and it's a good thing. I think they might put a little colored gel or something to give it more of a green effect or whatever color that it might have. And were it to be poetry time on the Old Tube Radio Network, and that happens on our Thursday evening program, but we would be reading the poem written ever so long ago by 23 Skidoo that's entitled, "When the Frost is on the Pumpkin, It's Time for Relay Clunkin'." But we're not going to do that tonight, so go clunk your relays. Take a transmission.
Oh, my God. That's an absolutely delightful poem. I don't like poetry, or at least not yet. That's a really good one. So my hat's off to that poet.
Yeah, it's nice to have ghostwriters live on the fly when we can do something like that. You are radio number 4, the Robin T123, a favorite all around, not just here at the Old Tube Radio Net Control and locally, but all over the Universal Media Netweb. And you do it proud because it always sounds good. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Oh, thank you. And before I get out, of course, as I always do, I'll check in the 123 Robin 123B, as in Bravo. No Magic Eye tube, but just a only semi-enthusiastic modulation lamp that's working. I got to say, it's not nearly as potent as the stench that's coming up from my clothing I have. Oh my God. well, I'm not going to admit to using a registered backyard fire pit. I would never admit to that on the air, but I will say I smell exactly like it. Is this radio? No, this radio. Why? Okay, I'm actually disturbed. Why can I touch the top of this radio? The 123Bs have an instant on feature, and I hope it works, but even with this instant on thing, this radio gets really hot. It feels, I've never felt it as cold as what it is right now. Oh, well, I hope some sort of signal is getting out.
It's getting out fine. It's just warming up. That's how cold it is here. I mean, okay, we're not Wisconsin. It's not below temperatures, and not Anchorage, Fairbanks, or whatever. But for the Central Valley, we're getting below 40 degrees, and if the radios aren't on, they will get chilly. But turning them on will help things out. This is the radio that came after the one we just heard, the Robin T123, up until 1972. And the T123B, when they went to the Panasonic, I guess, secondary chassis, number 2 chassis. I'm saying it wrong, and a lot of radios used this AM plate modulated chassis. The Robin was one of very few that got to use it to its ultimate by using every accessory and bringing it out to the front panel, as you can see by the external speaker modulation, PA light, fine-tune RF gain, range expand, and other things. The audio is not bad. Okay, maybe not as in your face as the B, but still pleasant sounding and modulated well enough that it is not a problem to hear you. Back to you for a transmission on radio number 5, and to the fastest coax switch in the West. You did a good job. Over.
Hey, there it is, and my compliments to the Delta. Is it Delta? No, it's the Alpha Delta antenna switch little device that I have. There it is to them. And thanks for letting me check it in. And I'm going to go compliment taking a shower and washing my clothing because of this smell. It does not smell nearly as good as the vacuum tube radios. But there it is, 73 from the Radio Lounge.
Thanks for the Radio Lounge tonight. We'll say hello to our new listeners here at the end of the net, Centerville, Virginia, back in X4000 has landed the spacecraft somewhere in the hills of California, saying hello radio to Net Control here and all the radio operators and listeners. And, of course, the Voodoo crew. The guys who know about audio are enjoying audio tonight. We've been having skip conditions from Idaho. I think it's the band is a little bit long. Otherwise, I would mention to the Voodoo crew that Andy might hear us if he tunes in to 27085. And anybody in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho out there tonight might pick us up on 27085. Is unusually, because of the high solar flux going on, we're having some good 11-meter conditions here. So Mark and the gang, let me get back to the control room here, on the Voodoo audio crew. Yes, indeed. The ESSB crew will say hello to you, and thanks for joining us in tonight. And they're agreeing, Michael, that it is one nice Robin.
60.
And 60. Let's take Radio 6. You've got it. Over.
Thank you much, here, Dennis. I hope we're not ganging up on you there, but I'd like to check in my Robin 123B.
I like that because that is the picture in my queue. And since it's because the Rolodex is sticking on one of its little rollers, it's really easy for me to bring that up where it says Robin T123B base mobile. Indeed it is. It's got if you have the extra power cord, it plugs right in the back. I think it uses, there's 2 transistors in there that do a DC to DC conversion. And you can put this beast in the AMC Gremlin and go for it.
The old gremlin, boy. There's one that I ain't heard in a while. But doggone it, Dennis, we wanted to check this one in there, and I do commend Sean out there. He's sounding choice. Sounds like he's sitting right here next to me. We could probably share a beer together. But anyway, Dennis, I have I think 11 tubes in this one, 23 channel, and of course a few extras on a piece of paper somewhere. I have extra channels on this. Got a couple of switches on the face of it. They look like little micro switches. One goes up, one goes down, and you're on channel 36. Interesting little setup they have on this. Of course, all the other little knobs. I know you talked about the knobs. It's nice because it does have RF gain, and I mean, it has a few features on there to help out. And then, of course, the modulation light, or you might want to call it, I don't know, it could be a modulation light. A few extra lights there that light up with the PA and the extra speaker and stuff like that.
Yeah, the deluxe model, or the one that was, for some reason, I guess they paid more to Panasonic to allow them to get all the stuff in there, and they did. And it's a good deal. 1972 to 1976. And the reason they couldn't do that, and it was 40 years ago, 76, 50 years ago, when they went to 40 channels, and you could not sell a 23-channel radio. The FCC wouldn't allow it. So they blew out all the 23s, and it was 40 channels from then on. I guess they wanted to make sure those were crystal controlled as well, even though they knew that would never happen. Well, you might be crystal controlled on your 36, right? Because you got a switch, so it's probably doing some trickery inside. Sounds good. Radio number 6, Joe, your Robin T123B, doing a good job, and thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you a bunch there for allowing me to check this one in. And once again, I commend you, Sean. You're sounding choice like a guy should. I'll be on the side, Dennis.
Good deal. Just got a note from Dwayne. He's up in northern Idaho. We're here in central California. I'll bring up the DX map, but he said signals are fading a bit. But you know how it works. What happens is, and there it is, that the purple is what we're looking for. Here's what's happened. It's moved more towards the north. The stations in British Columbia listening to us now, the other colors representing the other frequencies. So we'll leave it open after the net. We're going to sign off here, but a lot of stations locally might want to get in and see what is happening here on AM. Yeah, it's a little easier to do the sideband if you're having the DX conditions, but AM is fun, and it's even more fun when you are driving down the road with fins and chrome and your old tube radio. Any other local stations that need to check in before we sign out? Over. All right, that I know. It is 12 after. They're telling me we need to sign up. The green room will be open as it is, late, because there's going to be leftovers. I'm going to have that little brown lunch bag on Monday, taking it to the lunch bench at school for the leftovers. Conditions might be going on somewhere. Who's checking in? Hello to Davis, California. Belvedere, Tiburon, California. It was years ago in Tiburon. I think we had a bowling tournament there. They might have had a bowling alley in Marin County at that time, and we went to the state tournament. So, Harvey, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think we're going to add some more items to the list. Are we not? Over?
Roger, I'll try and do it quick. No prices for these yet. That'll be next week. A Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. A Sonar Model E with the external meter that's very hard to find. It's in excellent condition. The Sonar Model H with the Sonar Model E has a stock mic with it. The Sonar Model H, stock mic, but it's also got the matching SC3 sonar call that goes with it. Okay, then a Polycom Senior 23, a Robin T123, a Robin T123B. Microphones may come with them, or they can be had by me. Okay, a Tram 70C. It doesn't look that great, but it works really well. It's DC, and Cliff's had it in his car. A Tram Titan. A Tram Titan 2A, and he got that one from me, and it's really good. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, And these aren't CB things, basically, but he's got a Nixie tube frequency counter and a Fluke Nixie tube multimeter. Okay. Thank you very much, Dennis.
All right, thank you, Harvey. We'll do some counting and amounting, and then we'll get out of here. But the band could still be open, so I would say stations don't go away. Might be able to do some DX talking, and it is now legal. The FCC 2 years ago, 3 years ago, said it's okay to talk more than 150 miles. So bring out your horizontal antennas and go for it here when we sign off. You're listening to OTR.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Counting and amounting. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to call me, Dennis.
Okay, indeed. I was trying to count everything up here, and I think I've got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals, I do believe. Over to the control room, and here we go. Good night tonight with stations checking in from near and far. A lot of activity. Maybe that's when the temperatures get below 40 degrees here in the Central Valley. Something happens. I'm going to recheck the A and K index, and all items are pointing to all the bands should be closed. We are in an active field. The A index is at 32. The K is at 4. SFI at 114 and Sunspots at 65. That's kind of a recipe for disaster if you're on any other band. But tonight, it didn't look that way here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We are in week 3. We had 22 check-ins on page 1, 19 on page 2, 21 on page 3, and 15 on page 4. And I did get 23, and I did get 76. I think you checked in on the other page as well. And what did we do? Radios tonight, we had 6 that I know of, and it looks like the Robins were the most heard manufacturer. The treat was that we started out with our first radio, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, kind of wafting out of the ether from northern Idaho and landing, not with a thud, but with a giant blanket of RF over the Central Valley here. And then a nice conversation between Sangertown and somewhere near Coeur d'Alene, I think. So thanks, Dwayne, for the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III to get things started off. The Demco CB1 from Sean out in Sanger, leading the way, breaking the hole to get our signals to flow out of the Central Valley. Thanks, Sean, for that. The Demco sounding good. World Radio Labs Hustler. Thanks, Joe. Also, a Robin T123 from Mike, followed by his Robin T123B. And just because he could, Joe brought his T123B in as well. The Old Tube Radio Network is what's happening here. It's something we've been doing for 40 years. It's something you can do easily where you're at. Get an on-the-air night. Does it have to be tube radios exclusively? No. Do you need more than one person? That's probably would, unless you can get Skip to happen every night. So a couple people to jump in and just talk, just like we did, just like the guy on the tie, just like Mr. Goldwater back there with the pinchy headphoniums and the wires. That's what you did before. Where is it? That's what you did before you paid somebody every month to be tracked on this thing. Have a conversation. You went to your radio, your ham radio or CB radio, whatever it was, that you spent all summer delivering papers or setting pins or whatever you did at the bowling alley, and then bought the thing and you were good to go. Nobody ever asked you at the end of the month for a bill. You know, you talked to Bob and Shirley, that's going to be 29 cents. And that never happened. So that's what we do here, and you can do it too. 73, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network week. We'll catch you next week, I think. We'll be in the air chair. In the meantime, get on the air. And if you're looking to upgrade or get a ham license, there is plenty of space out there. I was up on 15 meters listening today, up on 10 meters and 12 meters. The band is open. I go from channel 11 during the day. There's 400 people. I cannot get a word in edgewise, and I click down, clunk, to the 12-meter band next door. And there's 3 people in the entire earth. And 2 of them you can actually talk to because they're in the skip zone. So it's feast or famine. I don't know. It's a cool hobby. So there's many aspects from which to choose. 73, 72 plus 1 for the SWLs that like to do math, and we will catch you next week on the Old Tube Radio Network. And I might leave the audio up just in case we got some skip. See you later. Selling grit. Thank you, Bill. Selling grit. If you didn't spend your money on the X-ray glasses or that bubble gum that would turn your sister's teeth black, you were out selling grit. Like that kid with a handful of money that you were going to get your first radio. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
On the radios, contact me or through OTR to Dennis, who will contact me. Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Oh, and as usual, just write down the Beagle.
Copy, over.